Welcome to Imperial Advisor episode 51. It is just myself and Baz here today at the moment because I think Justin has forgotten there's an episode on or something's happened to him. Either way, we're worried. And I've had to try and adjust the overlay. So, yeah, uh, we are where we are.
Very dramatic.
It really is. Like, Cola told me, once it's working, don't change anything. And I was like, sage advice.
Wise
Sage,
words.
sage advice. And now I feel myself here just like, oh God, what if I change something? Don't change anything on. Don't change anything at any point. Additionally, complicating matters was we had nothing to talk about.
Yep.
We're going like, oh man, we're kind of getting ready for UK Games Expo. In that I'm going to be over there running it, and I was going like, well, I'm not really practicing much because I'm going to run the tournament instead. But I am excited for going, even as it is
It,
mired in controversy.
it does
Mired
mean
in it.
we need to read through all of the rulings that have come out to fully get into the mind of Tyler.
Yes. Yes. Very much the case. So, yeah, there's been a couple of crackers.
Oh, hello, Justin.
How are this? Sorry for the late.
My overlay! No!
Hooray!
Hold on.
K caused. Job done.
So yeah, I was just explaining the change to the end of game tiebreaker rules.
Have they changed? Sorry, I haven't been keeping up with things. I've been completely indisposed this week. So.
Oh, you're in for a treat then.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
really?
You're gonna like this one. Tell me when the overlay is right, because I want to make sure we get this.
He's grand. We're fine now. All
right. So obviously, Justin, you're familiar with the tiebreaker rules. You go through your things, you end up counting points, and if you got to a scenario where everyone is equal on points, in that highly unlikely situation.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Highly unlikely situation where the favor has been discarded by a Kanjo district, was it?
That is exactly it. And both players are exactly level on tiebreaker points.
Now this is like a pure like theoretical hypothetical situation because it basically never happens in the game ever.
It never does.
And what was the tiebreaker rule at that point?
Which player won the roll to decide who went first lost.
And you were in top 8 when that happened, wasn't it?
That is correct.
And you lost to the mirror match, the eventual winner of the entire tournament?
Yeah.
So
it was Jose, wasn't it?
I think so. So
yeah,
Darren spotted this one actually. I'm not sure if he just noticed it or.
Whatever it is, if Darren spotted it, it's already 10 times worse than it possibly could be.
So apparently, during that game when you had your tiebreaker, there were 2 versions of the rules up on the FFG website. There was the PDF copy that said the way the judge ruled, and then there was the text-only copy that was the exact opposite. And basically said that whoever had won the roll at the start should have won. So this got queried, raised with FFG OP, and we got a clarification, and now it has been updated properly. So the person who won the roll wins the game.
I'm outraged. No, I'm not outraged at all. That's good. At least it's been clarified. That's the main thing.
It is an embarrassing mistake.
Yeah, I suppose it is,
but luckily, I mean, it's such an unlikely event. I'm sure it didn't affect anyone whatsoever.
No, I'm very glad it won't do so again in the future.
Also, I think it's rubbish to have the guy who run the roll and made the choice win on the time. Like,
I continue.
I had every advantage in this game and only managed to tie. Therefore, as the person with every advantage, I feel I should have every advantage, so I'm going to tie.
Yeah,
Life
it's
is
pretty much in
cruel.
keeping with Japanese feudal society, though. I have every
Yeah.
advantage, therefore I just keep winning,
Yes.
and you can sit down in there in the dirt with your peasant friends, or maybe your merchant friends, or maybe
Pretty
even
much.
eat.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with you, Owen. Actually, I think the way that it was ruled makes a ton more sense. That if you won the dice roll and got the choice, then yeah, the onus is on you to take advantage of that,
Yeah.
and you should lose at the end. So maybe they'll reverse that. But yeah.
So basically, you're saying you definitely should have lost that game. So we're all good.
I have absolutely no problems with that.
You actually look quite relieved afterwards that you didn't have to play another game.
It would have been nice. I wouldn't have disagreed, fought it, whatever. Um, but yeah, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. It's not a huge deal.
All right, and then obviously we've got Birmingham coming up next week, but we've got a storyline decision to make.
Yes. Incredibly so. There is announced for the Birmingham Grand Kodai at the UK Games Expo. There will be a storyline decision to make in the UK about the Phoenix Clan, which, as we all know, has never gone wrong before. Has
Wisdom or
never.
power?
It is to either send. Is he a witch hunter or is he just a
He's
is he this Echo Inquisitor? Hold on.
Yeah, he must be Sako Mizowa. With his background hunting down Maho, he has the skills that are needed. And just to clarify, hunting down Maho so he can keep the Maho because Maho is good, right? That's how this works.
So
Yes.
you either send him to Sama Meizawa to investigate the spiritual imbalance that plagues the Empire. He either goes entirely within Phoenix lands and figures out nobody within the clan is actually disrupting the kami and make the elemental balance worse, or will they send him to Ostanuchi to investigate the other clans?
Oh,
That's
Onosanuchi, absolutely.
yeah,
This is the J Championship all over again. The Phoenix are
absolutely.
perfect, flawless in every way, and everybody else is a heretic. Straight
Yes.
up.
It is knowledge and power once again. Woo!
So it's a really interesting one though because this isn't. There's a letter from lots of people. So Shiba Sakuna, Hideka Kasada, and then Kitsuki Yuruma. Okay, Kiriyashi. Okay, fair enough. But the only actual decision is being made in relation to the Phoenix thing. So it looks like right now that every player who plays on day 2 will get the vote, not just the Phoenix. So that decision could be shifted by the many Scorpion players who qualify or whatever, rather than just Phoenix players, which is interesting.
I hope they pick the interesting option, which is actually to send them to Oda Sanucci. I mean, if you've just got him wandering around Phoenix lands, that's not dramatically the most exciting thing in the world.
But that is where all the blood speakers are, isn't it?
Conflict.
Some of them, a few maybe. I don't know. They're kind of scattered around.
It's a pure magic.
Yeah, it is. It's the original magic.
It's your internal power.
Yeah.
That's what
It's like none of this Kami bullshit. This is the OG. This is
absolutely.
This is the good stuff.
The real power.
Yeah. First hit is free, and then we jack up the price.
So one nice thing is we are getting stories. We're getting letters from each different clans. Apparently, these are being written by Tyler.
Oh, Jesus! Good for Tyler.
We also there's a spoiler up in the letter page for Kunshu, what the sword actually does. It is a 2-cost +2/+2 weapon attached to a unique character you control. Ancestral, restricted. Attached character gains action during a conflict which this character is participating. Discard the Imperial Favor. Choose an event or attachment in your opponent's conflict discard pile. Play that card without paying its fate cost. Lots to unpack there. This is going to go to somebody. By the current points, it's going to Scorpion. So this is another tool in the Scorpion playbook for getting the favor, throwing the favor away, and getting a big effect out of it. I assume when this gets printed, if it's printed in Scorpion, it will be a Scorpion card and may or may not have no influence cost. Probably will have no influence cost. So only the Scorpion can benefit from winning it. So yeah. Interesting card. Any thoughts, Justin?
Yeah, I'm not attached to a unique character you control. Okay, so like, okay, I haven't seen this card yet. Like I said, I've been completely out of things this week, so all this is new. So attached to a new character you control. Okay, that shouldn't be too hard. Ancestral restricted, fine. Okay, 2 cost +2/+2. Obviously, it's 2 cost attachment. The usual provisos apply. And during a conflict in which his character is participating, discard the Imperial favor. Choose an event or attachment in your opponent's conflict or discard pile. Play the card without paying its cost. That is, it's almost, yeah. I mean, fair enough. It's almost always going to provide a net benefit. In terms of like discarding the favor is a 1 cost bonus. This is gonna do something more than that for sure. Attachments, yeah. You get significantly more value out of the favor with this in play. That's for sure. I'm instantly curious as to what happens if you somehow, or if a Phoenix player somehow ends up with this and got to Daka in play. I don't even begin to know that, or begin to pretend that I can understand what exactly happens in that situation. But yeah, it looks pretty solid. I mean, I don't think it's really near the kind of the game breaking potential of the Miramoto's Daisho. So because of that, and because it's a 2 cost attachment, its playability may be quite. But and plus got the opportunity cost of having to discard the Imperial favor, but the value is really, really good. So yeah, it could see play. It could see.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Baz, any thoughts? You're a dragon player, so you know your weapons.
It's just playing your opponent's discarded cards or attachments is always much worse than playing your own. When you're playing your own, you've got control. You know exactly what's in there, what to expect. You can get yourself in a situation where you're playing against Unicorn and it's all target a cavalry this, target a Unicorn that. Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to see a Bonsai. You're probably going to see a Court Games. You're going to see a lot of fun cards. So yeah, it'll be a decent amount of utility out of it.
But the fair god is someone who's discarded or played Fate Worse Than Death or Consumed by Five Fires, though.
Yeah, it does mean that your opponent can't play a card ever again without you being able to just mirror it, which is pretty amazing. At the cost of discarding the favor, which does lock down censure and stuff like that, and it does mean you have to get it, which for some clans can be tricky.
I think 3 clans would like this or consider it. Crane, Phoenix, and Scorpion, and I'm not sure if anybody else would be. Like, if Unicorn got this, I think they'd be like, what's this for? You know? This seems dodgy. But yeah, for those clans, it's probably quite good. For other clans, it's probably a bit less so. I mean, I know if I got this in Crab, I'd be like, how am I getting the favor?
Yep.
Defending a lot? Sometimes that does it.
Yeah, there are ways. I mean, right now, obviously, the way to get the favor and hold on to the favor is to splash Phoenix and play. What's that goddamn card? The 2 cost, steal your ring.
Display power.
Display power?
Yeah, display power.
It is the best. Absolutely the best. There were 1 or 2 other spoilers popping around as well. We had the Crane got themselves 2 little spoilers to show us. It was sent to the House of the Crane Clan. We're just going to take a very quick look at them. There's Sententious Poet? Sententious Poet?
Sententious.
Yeah. 3 cost, 1/3, 2 glory, courtier, reaction after your opponent spends fate to play a card during conflict in which this character is participating, gain 1 fate. So hey, don't pay cash unless you want to see me gain some cash. Interesting. 3 coster is an interesting slot for Crane. 2 glory is fine. the reactions, I think, pretty cool. I think that that's more of the sort of pseudo denial Crane. So I'm not sure we'll see a lot of play, but it is at least interesting. Any
Yeah,
thoughts,
and
guys?
it opens up options.
Yeah,
So if you're on 0 fate and your opponent plays a 1 fate card, all of a sudden you've got a fate to do something with, which is kind of cool. But I mean, again, your opponent has a lot of control over it, but they don't necessarily know what's in your hand.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems okay, but I mean, if it never triggers, are the stats still solid enough to kind of get you through?
The stats are unimpressive in Crane. No, like they're impressive at anybody actually. Even honored. Like if you honor, it's okay, but it's only okay. Like 3 cost 1/3, like 3 cost 2/3 or 3/2 would be the usual baseline. Like okay, nothing special. However, the holding I find very exciting, which is esteemed tea house. It is a tea house, a +2 province strength holding. Action. During a conflict which you control a participating courtier, choose an attachment on a participating character, return that attachment to its owner's hand. That player cannot play copies of that card until the end of the phase. So I think that's really very good. It's competing with a load of good, really good Crane holdings, but that's a very strong attachment control card. It punishes high cost attachments by both draining your opponent's fate and preventing them from replaying it. I think, and only requires a participating courtier, so it's not for every one of their decks. But for the courtier decks, that's a really good, really nice card, and it's more control over. Oh, you can't play events now. You also can't play that type of attachment or that attachment. So I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed by that. Justin, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's really impressive actually. It super heavy punishes low attachment decks who just aren't going to have the weighted numbers to get stuff out. Um, so yeah, it already does it. I mean, if they get an attachment down, meh. But yeah, I mean, one of the things that Crane has lacked, or the Crane doesn't really actually have access to, is attachment control. It isn't the best form of attachment control. It is a dynasty card, therefore it's going to be a little less reliable. You're not going to see it as frequently as you are cards in your conflict deck. And it has to stick around if you want to get multiple uses out of it. But in the right matchup, it could just be very unpleasant to play against. I could certainly see it. I could certainly see it as a one-off in a lot of decks. Certainly decks, as I said, but decks playing courtiers, obviously. I'd
And
like to see. Yeah, I need to see. I need to see it in play.
but if you see this in Air Crane playing courtiers, and they have Mark of Shame or something, and they go Mark of Shame your guy,
Yeah,
dishonor him twice.
even better. Yeah,
Yeah, we've dishonored that guy twice. Cool. I'll bounce that back to hand now. I can't play it this turn, but that's fine. Next turn I'll Mark of Shame somebody again, and that's the guts of a good dishonor deck.
And you can still utilize that with some of your own attachments that don't have effects. You know, if you go into a conflict and you have something simple like a fine katana, you've already won the battle. Your opponent hasn't decided to defend. You can choose to bounce that back to hand and then have it ready for another time later, especially if that character is leaving play at the end of turn. So there's a little bit of utility
yep.
like that. But holdings are always so hard to justify. Like you want your meta cards in your fate deck, in your conflict deck, because that's where you're going to get more access and you can hold on to it and it's not clogging up things as much. I mean, the holdings is a kind of a high competition stakes. I definitely don't want to see this one opposing me because anything that messes with attachments obviously it's nasty for against Dragon. But yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if Crane don't see a lot of play with this.
I also like that it's a high province strength buff holding that your opponent will actually want to destroy rather than one that he doesn't want to attack or a +0 one he really wants to take. I like that this one's good. It's good to keep it in play, and it's good at staying in play because it's got a high province strength buff. So good stuff.
Good point.
Also,
Yeah.
the biggest news we kind of got today was they announced we're actually going to do rotation is going to happen, and they're giving us plenty of warning about when it's going to happen because it's not going to happen for probably over a year. So rotation, when it does affect, is when the first pack of the 5th Dynasty cycle is released, cycles 1 and 2 will leave. And it's possible that some of the premium expansions will be included in that. They have said it may be designated as part of rotation. Now, for clarity, we're currently cycle 3 has not started yet, which is the inheritance cycle. So we have all of the inheritance cycle with the current card pool. We have all of the next cycle with the card pool. And then when the 5th cycle comes out, whatever that be, cycle 1, the Imperial cycle, cycle 2, the Elemental cycle, leave. Now, they've said the core set will always be in the pool, but they have not said that does not count out them printing a revised core set. Because they could decide, well, we'll put in a revised core set, because there are a number of issues with the core set of the game that I'm sure they'd be happy to resolve. So the core products are the game's core set and the most recent clan pack for each clan. So your clan packs will be legal until they do a new cycle of clan packs. So if you've got a crappy clan pack, don't worry. They can just give you a new clan pack and replace that one. So that's interesting. It's good that they're thinking about rotation. It's good that they're, at least considering, freshening up the environment considerably. Any thoughts on that, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, rotation is good. Rotation is absolutely essential. You have to prune the card pool. You have to keep it down. We've seen this in so many other games that when the card pool becomes too large, then the number of competitive decks actually shrinks dramatically rather than increasing in size. The overwhelming combos and synergies are so powerful that nothing else can break in. So yeah, cycling is an absolutely fantastic idea. A little disappointed to hear that they're not committing to core set change as soon as possible, because I think that's where most of the problems with the game lie, is in the core set cards. They are addressing that bit by bit over time with the restricted list, but ideally that's not the tool you would like to see used to fix those problems. But regardless, just news that they're considering rotation, or that rotation is going to be implemented, is fantastic. I like the way they're implementing the clan pack rotation as well. That I know they said that those cards were going to be forever legal, but I think it became apparent as early as the Phoenix pack number 2 Phoenix pack was number 1, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it became it became obvious as early as pack number 1 that certain cards should not be permanently legal, and probably should not have ever been legal. But that's great. But I mean, a new clan pack coming out and replacing the old clan pack is a fine way of doing that. They can keep in the elements they like, shift out elements they don't. It's great to see them. It's great to see kind of a public announcement about it, and I'm looking forward to it.
Baz, what are the cards you're going to miss most when they do rotation?
Miss most? Ooh, that's an interesting one.
Because I was looking through some of the big ones that are going to go, and in the Imperial cycle, we're going to lose all of the first set of Seeker and Keeper roll-only cards, which kind of define the initial metagame. You got cards like Consumed by Five Fires, you got Pathfinder's Blade, you've got Crisis Breaker, a number of really key cards for the clans even now. You've got cards like Iron Mine, which a number of people consider a real problem. You've got Karada District and Kunsho District, which are despised. You've got Finger of Jade, which is often seen as being too good at protecting towers. You've got Policy Debate, which has been on the restricted list because it's too efficient. You've got Feast or Famine, which has been restricted because it was too powerful. You've got Talisman of the Sun, which is an enormously influential card in splashes for people. So you got tons of actually really important cards which are just going to go. So,
yeah. Like, just looking through it here, I mean, you're right. The cards you name are some of the big ones. There's also like Censure, which is huge. I know Fate Worse Than Death is in there as well. But like, I'm essentially looking at each page, and I'm finding maybe one card that we'll miss or we'll notice when it's gone. But so many cards.
Absolutely. That was the other point I was going to raise. That there's a ton of Drek stuff that's never seen any play. That some clans are still totally dominated by the core set. Like some crowd players are talking about, wow, when they get rid of the first two expansions or the first two cycles, I'm gonna have to change 15 cards in my deck. You know, because the
Um,
core set is that influential.
but I mean, honestly, cards cycling out are almost like instantly getting a brand new pack, like an entire cycle, because all of those cards that you take out, you then have to go back and then look at all of the cards that you've kind of left to the side that you haven't been worrying about for a while, and decide, are these some of the cards that are going to make the cut now space has been made. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of once those two cycles slip out, we're going to lose a lot of cards that are influential. We're going to lose a lot of cards that we're not going to miss at all. But we're also going to see a lot of cards in that third and fourth sets. So I guess the set's just about to come out, right?
Yeah,
No,
because the thing for me is, I think until they do a revised core set, and I think they need to do a revised core set in about a year, I'd say. That will be good because that will shake up things quite a bit. And then you know that in another couple of months, probably, if they at the end of the inheritance cycle, if they did another cycle at the end of the fourth cycle, fifth cycle, they did a revised core set and then did the cycle, you get a major shakeup coming into kind of Gen Con that year where the
yeah.
worlds would be in a completely fresh format, which I think would be a good way to possibly introduce the clan war. Like if I was doing it, that's kind of the milestone I think I'd like to hit. To say brand new game, it's the clan war. Revised Alpha 4 set starts basically right then. So Gen Con 2020 is going to be kind of the release of the clan war kind of effectively cycle. And that's
And
the new base environment.
and actually, I know Justin was commenting that they hadn't committed to re-releasing or releasing a new base set, but we know from how they approach Netrunner that rotation is a perfect time to look at the environment to see what problems there are, and those core sets tend to be where a lot of it is. So I honestly think that since they're talking about rotation now, that was most likely prompted by a desire to look at a new core set. So I think they've settled down themselves and they've gone, we're going to make a new core set. And because we're doing that, let's look at our timeline. All right, that means we're going to be doing rotation at this point. So if we push this on a bit, we're probably looking. Would if so we finish the cycle out, it's about to hit. We're doing it once a month. We go into 2020. We maybe push through two cycles in 2020. Um, in which case we'll probably see uh, L5R Core 2 coming out for Gen Con 2020.
I think you could get cycle 3 done, will be done this year.
Yeah.
By November, I think it'll be all out, probably. And then,
All the clan packs are out at this point.
yes. And then January, you go, right, new cycle starting out, which is maybe the clan coup, maybe not. It seems like it should be the clan coup, if they're going to still do a clan coup. Then you do the clan coup as a cycle for in the run up to 2020. So the first 6 months of 2020, that Kodai season is about the clan coup.
Yeah.
And then at Gen Con, you go, cool. Imperial, the core vice set, and the first pack of the Imperial cycle right at Gen Con. Come get your new clan champion, all your new set of clan champions, new everything, basically new strongholds, new everything. Game is kind of repackaged a little bit. Maybe the rules tightened up a little bit, kind of an Alpha Vor LCG 1.5 or something like that, just to tweak some stuff. And big relaunch. This is the clan war. This is the one everyone wants to be a part of. Do a 2 year build or something, maybe Gen Con 2022. Have the Day of Thunder, or Worlds 2022 or something. Have the Day of Thunder.
Oh, well, you're getting plenty ahead of that
Yeah,
stuff.
I know, but that's how I do it. Like, the Day of Thunder is the greatest CCG event nobody got to play in. Well, not nobody, but like tremendous minority of people got to play it.
It was a select group, yeah.
And if you went, well, we're going to do this, and our roadmap is by 2022 we're going to have the Day of Thunder at FFG Worlds in 2022. You would get, or even 2021, depends when they want to do it, but you would get massive buy-in. Like that would be the most exciting CCG event or LCG event now you could probably come up with. Like if you're generally going, we're doing the Day of Thunder again, and it's going to be like the stakes are this high,
I don't know. I definitely see where you're going, and that could be incredibly cool. I'm not sure they necessarily need to go down that particular direction. I think the way they're approaching the story for me right now feels really great because they're essentially slow rolling it, taking it gently, expanding it out, and giving us a lot of depth rather than going for those big moments yet. But yeah, that could be very cool.
Justin, any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I'm quite happy to see where they take it. Whether they're going to go for the coup first. Obviously, the Day of Thunder is that's the magical jackpot, the magical wonderland that really launched the game. As to whether they need to rush into it quickly, I really don't know. I mean, I suppose that's a decision for brand management, who will have access to sales numbers, etc., etc., etc. Something like the Day of Thunder is something you build toward. It's a massive event, and it should be supported across all L5R products. Role-playing game, card game, whatever else, wherever, where possible. Very, very excited to see it when it does happen. I'm sure it will happen. As for when that needs to happen, yeah, I don't know. That's, as I said, it's a brand decision, really, more than else. So, yeah, I don't know. Looking forward to the past and the future. It'll be fun.
I think so. We'll have to see if we can corner anyone from FFG at UK Games Expo and see if we can get any hot scoops. I think that the Day of Thunder is the biggest draw they could do, and I would like to see them do it while the game's still kind of. I don't know what the lifespan of an FFG LCG really is, and we kind of know, but we kind of don't, because
we've arguably passed it already.
Yes, but Netrunner, we were kind of like, okay, let's see how long Netrunner can go, and then Netrunner finished early. The initial, the Game of Thrones 2.0 was because they absolutely had to. The game was pretty incoherent, and it's still going. So it's like it's not as big as it used to be, and as Game of Thrones doesn't have a TV show anymore, I don't know if that. I assume that hurts it a little bit, but I want
I mean, Netrunner is still going. Like there are people.
It is. But it's not. We don't know what the full life cycle of. I don't know at what point Netrunner 2.0 would happen. Well, I think Netrunner, effectively 3.0 is going to happen under WotC probably, if I had to guess.
No, I don't think it's going to happen at all. I think, but my point is that
Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out. It's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. But my point is that the players still had interest. The players were still keen to play in tournaments and get things going, and that really, like Alpha War will keep going as long as the players keep playing.
Yeah, and I mean the Netrunner players were incredibly excited after the core set, after Core 2.0 launched, because it did seem to be a bit of a renaissance game. And then what we surmise is that the license ran out, and WotC either FFG gave it up or WotC pulled it.
Yeah.
So,
and actually, that's something really good for Alpha Vor. Assuming we hit that, like once we hit that rotation, and if they have the same sort of quality that they had for Netrunner, where they had essentially 2-3 years of experience, understood which cards were problems, which cards worked, what felt fun, what felt bad to play against, and then got to fine-tune everything. I mean, we've been talking about Alpha Vor 2.0 since before Alpha Vor released almost. But that was a real peak for Netrunner, and it's definitely something for us to look forward to.
I think so. Okay. So, have we anything else to discuss, ladies and gentlemen?
The Amistiest.
Amethyst?
Championship. Amethyst, sure. Yes, you're right. In Spain. So they announced that it will actually be a grand championship.
With mysterious prizes, because they haven't been already revealed yet.
Yeah, we still don't know those details. But actually finding out that that is something that is getting rolled out and things are starting to happen is very, very cool. What do we actually know about this format?
I think they are the replacement for nationals, is how they've been described to me. Kodais are kind of big regional tournaments, whereas the Grand Championships are nationals effectively. And
Okay.
I think they're going to be run on the other end of the year to Kodais, I think.
Okay.
And they will be
So yeah, I can see from the
assume big
website
in
they're
their
saying
own
they're
way. Assume big in
yeah,
their own
so
way.
high level events that take place only once per year per nation or territory. A bit vague. These events feature top level prizes and qualify the top 4 players to their game's next World Championship. And then there's a Continental Championship as a step in between it, and then you've got World Championship, which obviously is a winter court.
Yeah. The interesting part as well for it is that it keeps with FFG naming convention in that they will only change one part of the name for a previous. It has to be the same as one part of the name as a previous format tournament. So they couldn't make them, super championships. It had to be grand championships because you had grand kodais. So you can just
Of
change one.
course.
You can just change one at a time to keep things confusing.
And have they started compounding adjectives? Like, are we going to see Super Grand Championships
Well,
or
ultimately,
Mega Ultimate Grand
but
Championships?
only no. It couldn't be Mega Ultimate. Oh, it could be Mega Ultimate Championship. It couldn't be Mega
Oh,
Ultimate Championships. It'd be Mega
of
Ultimate
course,
Championship.
of course, of
One
course.
word must remain the same. Hashtag branding. Oh, we are we're just we're being asked in championship. We will indeed rock the UK, specifically the UK Games Expo, and it should be good. And we'll bring you a report from there. Baz, will you be collating information live at the scene, updating Imperial Advisor feverishly?
If my head judge allows me to, I will be. Yes,
Good, good. Yeah, it's all right.
I hear he's a cruel taskmaster.
Well,
One way.
he's a decent sort, really. The odd occasional, desire to disqualify everybody, and you're like, no, John, we can't disqualify everybody. Disqualify half.
Well, let's see what happens when someone qualifies with one clan on day one and another
Yes,
clan on day two.
yes, and their resistance is equal.
Oh, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah,
Okay,
if the
yeah,
resistance is better for one of them, that's the clan they have to play. If their score is better for one of them, that's the clan they have to play. And if their score is equal, you check the resistance, and if that's equal, John executes them, and we hide the body somewhere.
all right,
Because that's
all right.
that's the only
So
logical way to handle it. What is your pick for biggest rules headache of the day, Baz?
biggest rules headache. I feel like it's going to be something about K-Day. Isn't there K-Day attacking with the conflict character that gives air, and then you start trading away rings to replace effects, and then you also have something like that. I've been stung with those before.
I think the classic Casada will come into play once again.
Oh no, don't even.
Casada's the classic, and we've got the unicorn character now as well for another one for us to go and try and entangle.
So we do have an idea on how to deal with that one at
Yes,
least.
we do. We do have an idea. Casada was just like, you morons, I'm gonna slap both of you. This is both your fault. The crowd player's a little more, but still. Yeah, that should be interesting. Alrighty. So we've talked a little bit of spoilers. We've discussed a little bit about rotation. We're positive about rotation. We
Yeah.
would like to see. There was a real drought of Elf of War news. It is nice to see some news again. It would be nice to see a regular Elf of War news thing, specifically, possibly actually some updates on the favor and glory points, so we can actually tell who's going to get Kunchu and whether it's still all to play for or not. spoiler warning, it is. Scorpion are on 94, Crane are on 80, Phoenix are 74, Dragons 56, Crab 51, Unicorns 35, Lion is 26. So unless Lion decide to pull a Liverpool, it's probably between Scorpion, Crane, and Phoenix to see who gets Kunshu. And all of those clans can probably make effective use of it. So
I
that
don't
is
know.
good.
Crane's been hit hard. I don't know. I feel like the Scorpion are in a really good position with it because they have a tendency to qualify really well and then
They
just
do.
throw games at the end, so no one finds out how good they actually are.
That's true. But Crane have got, well, not for Birmingham, but they have the clan pack. And I think that will really open out some options for them.
True.
I think they've got the courtier deck and they've got the dueling deck coming out of that. And the courtier deck is going to be a horrific hand denial deck, which chokes you out.
Atlanta, we have this weekend.
Atlanta is this weekend, I believe, and Birmingham is next weekend. Also, has anyone else spotted the John's Keeper of Air deck in the wild?
I am not aware of people seeing it out in the wild.
I think people are going to see it. People are going to see it, I think, in Atlanta. I think some people have been sent over.
We know people will be playing it. Let's not overhype it.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I'm hopeful for it. I think it's a good deck. So, are we done?
I think we are.
All right, everybody. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for watching Imperial Advisor episode 51. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. See you now. Bye.
Take care, everybody. Bye.